several clubs interested in buying Pierre-Emile Hojbjerg. Would either of you entertain selling him? Nick, would you entertain selling Hojbjerg this summer?
Yeah,
it's been
I would.
Mooted. Actually,
Yeah.
I don't know. Before you tell me, how much would you accept for Hojbjerg, and why would you sell him?
How much would I accept? I'd accept. Oh man, that's quite difficult. 25, 30 mil.
That's where I'm at. But apparently that's not.
What the fuck?
I know. People think he's worth more. Actually, well, no, Mark Nesbitt thinks he's worth more. The Dane on the podcast. And because if you talk about anything around Danish football, around Mark Nesbitt, it's like the player is like something you've never seen before. Hojbjerg in Mark's eyes is like a world beater. I'm saying 25 million, bite your hands off. He's saying 40.
No, I'd be saying around 25, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him go back to the likes of Southampton. You know, where they are in comparison to us now. I've got no idea because we've been so fucking dirge for so long. But like, it feels like he's better suited to a club like that, and we just seem to lack the creativity in midfield, like the pass player, and I don't think he's quite got that in his locker.
Ricky, what about you?
It's a difficult one. It depends what the new manager coming in depends how they set up. Personally, I think in a 2, I think if we are going to play in a 2, I think they need to be a bit more of an all-rounder, which Hojbjerg isn't. And although I think under Conte he has developed and added more to his game, he's got a few more assists, a few more goals. He looks to put the ball forward a bit more. It's a lot to do and a lot to learn when it's not your natural kind of characteristics of how you've played football. I think he's barely missed a game.
He's missed 4 games in 3 years.
I think he's a bit of a leader and a good professional. I think he's useful to have around the club, and he's a bit more of an older head. I think squadsy. I think I'd quite like to keep him in the squad. Like to kind of get around, just start shouting at people, just leading the line a bit. But if we decide to like play with 3 in the middle, then his position might be a bit more specific as to say, you need to stay in this area and you need to do these things. And this is all I'm asking for you. The other 2, they'll sort the rest out. You just fucking worry about what you got to do, son. And if you can stick to that discipline and stay there and do what he's told, then maybe he's got a place in the starting 11. But I'm not as quick as to say, you know, when you've got that, it's that, twist or bust. I don't know the next player that we bring in, Maddison, say. We bring Maddison and swap him out for Hojbjerg. I have no idea whether that's going to be the best thing because Maddison's defensive game isn't as good as Hojbjerg's, for instance. I know they're going to play different positions. It's just an example. But it's hard to be like, okay, we'll get rid of Hojbjerg and we'll bring a new man. But we don't know if new man is going to be that all-round player in the Premier League because they've been playing in fucking Turkey and been tearing it up there. So you just don't know. So I'd rather maybe not stick with him in the first team, but I'd rather still keep him about.
Is he a bit of a Danish Stefan Freund, as in like he can do a job in there? Like if you think about Bentancur and Basuma coming in and playing like in that more attacking sense, he can sit in that hole. And I think if he can do that, he can. But he doesn't seem to be either or for me at the moment.
Yeah,
you know, like at the start of the season, you're right. He's bombing on, scored them. You know, like good contact with 4 or 5, like scores the goals. That seems to have drifted away, and he makes. They all make errors, don't they? Let's be honest, they all make errors. But I think maybe you're right around the squad versus 25 mil.
I remember when Freund, it was the last game of the season, and Freund had his shirt and shorts on, and he threw his shorts into the crowd, and everyone was cheering, and they grabbed it. And as he was walking off, I think someone asked him for his shorts, so he took his shorts off. He was just standing in the middle of the White Hart Lane pitch with nothing but his white pants on. If Hojbjerg did that, then you know go back into the first
He
team.
definitely
He's a
wears
keeper.
white pants though, doesn't he? He definitely wears white briefs. He's never he's never worn boxer shorts in his entire life, Hojbjerg. He just has proper tight pants.
Yeah.
And he pulls them up. It's like my dad. Do you remember when we used to go to Europe in Aways, Rick?
Yeah.
And we'd often share a room. So there'd be like 10 men, my brothers, friends of my brothers, you, Rick.
Yeah.
And my dad would be bowling around. And it would be like, we'd go to bed late because everyone was like fucked getting beard up. And you'd wake up at about 8:30 in the morning. And my dad would be walking around the room in his pants.
Yeah.
And just going and burping.
Yeah. I like genuinely, no word of a lie. I woke up, my eyes are like stuck together because I was so tired. And as I opened them and was blinking, your dad walked past me in his white pants and went, "Morning, Ricky boy," cocked his leg up, farted and bowled into the toilet and just started doing like a hose pipe piss.
Yeah.
I was like, that's a fucking guy in there. That is a guy.
That is a real man.
That's a man.
Yeah. If there's any women out there that want a real man, my dad's married, so get the fuck away. Yeah. Hojbjerg would be my dad in 40 years.
Yeah.
40 years, Hojbjerg would be walking around teaching the young lads how to be a man.
He does. He does strut about, doesn't he?
He does. I would take £25 million for Hojbjerg right now, £30 million. But I don't think the right option is to sell him. I think that if you keep him around the squad in a new manager, a new environment, having a leader there who he's not going to be one who's a stickler for the old days, right? Like when Pochettino came over and joined Spurs from Southampton, when he had to figure out the issue with Adebayor, with Kabul, with Aaron Lennon, who was sort of on the way out. We had issues in that squad. You'd think that Hojbjerg would be at the centre of the solution of any transition that Slot would sort of implement. So even if we were offered £25 million or if we were offered £40 million, you'd bite their fucking hands off. But if you're offered 25, 30, you just think that he's got a role to play. He's not only good enough to play in the team. Clearly, every manager that we've had has trusted him. He's a very, very good footballer. He's like I say, he's missed 4 games in 3 years. I think selling Hojbjerg isn't the move forward. Maybe next season it is, but right now I'd keep him.